What's up, guys? This is Caleb here, and I'm going to be doing a review on my Friday the 13th DVD collection here, going through each film and giving you my personal thoughts and opinions on each film, which one's my favorite and which one's my least favorite. This is the entire collection here on DVD, also including the remake. Took me a couple years to complete this. I've had these since I was about 15 years old. So, alright, let's get started here. Start off here, of course, with Friday the 13th, the original one. This is a unique cover for it here. If you can tell when you move it, it goes back from the original cover to Jason's face. This came out, I believe, the year before the remake was released. The Halloween before the remake was released, actually. So they repackaged it pretty nicely. Take it out of the sleeve here. And of course there's the original cover. I love this film. This is one of the best of the series by far. A lot of people, though, in my generation, really didn't care for this one because, growing up, and they walk into a video store, and they see the other ones, they think Jason's going to be the primary killer in all the films, and of course in this one it's not the case. Mrs. Voorhees is the killer. And I try to tell them, well, you got to look at this movie from the aspect as if you was born when it came out, and this was the first one you ever saw. And it's a great film, You didn't know who Jason was at the time besides the backstory you're getting from this one. And then if you look at it that way, then it's a great film. There's no doubt there. A lot of great kills in this movie. It's more of a murder mystery in a sense, because, all through the movie it's a who did it. You don't find out to the end that it's Mrs. Voorhees' son. And you see Kevin Bacon, a very young Kevin Bacon in this film. In one of his early roles, it's kind of a thrill to see that. Let's open it up here. No inner sleeve inside, just the disc itself. So, yeah. Alright. Moving on. Friday the 13th Part 2. This is actually the first one I ever seen when I was about, I think, maybe 8 years old. And seeing it for the first time, I really wasn't that impressed by it because, what I was really mostly disappointed was Jason wasn't wearing the hockey mask in this one. And that was what I expected to see him wearing, but it wasn't. But as the years went on, I got older and I watched it again, I really began to appreciate this one because this is, we introduced Jason in this one, of course. So this one's definitely important to the series. And as I got older, I realized the sack that Jason wears on his head in this one is actually even more terrifying than the hockey mask itself. There's actually a scene in this film when Jenny's running through the woods and she runs into the shack where Jason's mother's head's located and her sweater and all the stuff, like his little memorial he's got for her. And then out of nowhere in the back you see Jason running in the window, and that gives me chills every time I see it. Me and my friends just rave about that scene. We don't know if it was done by accident or what, but it's a great scene. But very great film. Again, a lot of great kills in this one. Very important to the series, no doubt. This one, of course, has an inner sleeve with chapter selections on it. None of these DVDs really have any special features. The Paramount ones don't, except for the theatrical trailer and widescreen, of course. Nothing very special, though. Moving on, Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. Of course, this is not the 3D version, the 2D version. The big thing about this one, of course, was the introduction of the hockey mask, which a lot of fans, that's, again, how they see Jason is in the hockey mask, of course. This is a classic one, of course. Love this one. A lot of great kills. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Start to finish. Yep. Alright, moving on to Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This, in my opinion, this is not my favorite one. This is one of my least favorite ones of the series, It has some pretty cool kills, and, it introduces Tommy Jarvis's character, of course, but just not my favorite of the series, I think it could have been done just a little bit better. My favorite scene in this movie actually is the scene at the beginning when they're in the morgue and Jason's hand comes down on the two getting ready to do it in the morgue, and the guy freaks out yelling, "Jesus Christmas!" and everything. It laughed my ass off when I was a young kid watching that for the first time. But, and of course the end of the movie is cool, when Corey Feldman has his big scene killing Jason. That's a pretty awesome scene, but Other than that, was not my favorite of the series.
Girls, you're right here.
I do kind of like the scene selection picture here, though. This is pretty cool. Just Jason in all his glory there. And that kind of ends the first 4 of the series, and that introduces the next 4 of the Paramount series. With Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. And people find this so odd, but honestly, this is my favorite of the series. And it's weird because, of course, Jason isn't even the killer in this one. He's not even in this one, except for in the beginning in the dream sequence. But honestly, this is my favorite of the series. It's different, and I think it was a great way to breathe new life into the series at the time. And I think they did a great job on this movie. It's funny, it's got great humor. You know, I love the storyline about the kid getting murdered at the halfway house, and the paramedic, you know, is very upset about that, so he uses Jason as a cover. And the old folks in it, the redneck people, Ethel and her son Junior, just hilarious scenes. I love this one. Again, people think it's weird that this is my favorite one, but this is actually my favorite of the series. I think it's got a great plot, great kills, and it was a great way to breathe new life into the series. And then next up, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. My second favorite of the series. This is what brings Jason back into the series. Been speculation that Jason became a zombie in this one, which that may be true, because, you know, he was kind of brought back to life with the lightning bolt. Tommy Jarvis digs him up. It's got a good plot, a lot of great kills again. Second favorite in the series. Love this one. Very, very good film. Executed well, you know. Jason was still kind of, you know, he was still kind of, you know, I mean, he was dead, but he was still, you know, kind of not completely beat up and burned out. He could still run a little bit in this one, but again, love it. So, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Now in this one, Jason is just a wreck in this one. He looks like absolute shit. There's bone showing, you know. He is just he's a beast in this one, a monster. But I love this one. A lot of great kills. This is the first time Kane Hodder plays Jason, and I love it. You know, at first when I was younger, first watching this one, the telekinesis thing kind of, you know, I wasn't really thrilled with it. But as the years went on and I watched it more and began to understand it more and began to like it more, and it became one of my favorites for sure. And of course, one of the things I really love about this movie is the scene where she's using the telekinesis to make Jason's head expand, and his hockey mask breaks off, and then, you know, for like the last 15 minutes of the movie, he's maskless, and his face is just it's just horrifying. The teeth, the eyes, and everything. Jason's he's a monster in this one. I love it. It's classic. So, Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. This is actually my third favorite in the series, for sure. I love this one. A lot of people don't like this one. They think this was kind of just a letdown to the series, like, oh, they're just kind of keep it going, which is true. But I love this one. I think they did a great job in this one. Most of the movie was supposed to be in Manhattan and New York, more than what was, but budget problems led them to throw the whole Love Boat thing in there, which was cool too. It worked. I thought it worked great. There's a scene in this film that really disturbs me, and it's at the very end. Remy pours the hot acid on Jason's face, and it burns him, so he rips his mask off, and of course his face is revealed, and it's hideous, just like always. But then as they're making their escape out of the sewer, and he comes to grab him, and then like he looks back and he hears himself drowning as a kid, and the sewage is coming, and then he just starts vomiting. And it just disturbs the hell out of me seeing Jason's nasty ass face vomiting. And it's just like, I don't know if it was just because of the smell or the sewage maybe or whatever, but where the fuck did he find time to eat food in the series, you know, to start vomiting? I don't know. That scene just always disturbed the hell out of me, but like I said, I love this one. It's one of my favorites of the series for sure. A lot of great kills. And again, Kane Hodder does a fantastic job as Jason again. And then, after that, New Line Cinema takes over the series in 1993 with Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Not my favorite. Definitely not a fan of this one. The thing about this one is you either love it or you hate it, and I don't hate it, but I really don't like it. You know, I don't like the whole, how they really turned it into a supernatural type deal. You know, and a paranormal thing, and I really don't dig that. You know, Jason's just a being that kills, in my opinion. And I didn't like, you know, when I want to see Jason, I want to see him as himself killing. I don't want to see him in someone else's body killing. You know, but, you know, for the fans that love it, you know, good for them. What makes this movie, you know, great, though, and what makes it worth watching is the very end when Freddy's glove comes up from hell and grabs Jason's mask. That's what makes this whole movie worth watching, honestly. It definitely does, in my opinion. And, of course, that started the whole Freddy versus Jason thing, which took them 10 years to make, actually, after this film was released. But again, like I said, not a fan of this one, but, you know, I've got it for the collection. That's how I am. If I don't like the movie, I will buy it for the collection, though. Then, 9 years later, New Line finally makes another Jason film, Jason X. Again, really keeping the series going at this point. But it's got a cool title, you know, Jason X, you know, 10th in the series. It was titled pretty nicely, I thought. Jason in Outer Space. Honestly, though, I do like this one. It's one of my favorites, in my opinion. It's got a good plot, decently, you know, and it's executed well, and it's got a lot of great kills. And, the Super Jason thing I thought was cool, you know. He became a beast in there again, you know, just unstoppable killing machine, and like he already was. But you knew for sure he was in this one. I liked it, you know. A lot of people don't like it, but I do like this one. I think it was done pretty well. Then after that, of course, was Freddy versus Jason. And I'm going to do a separate video itself of that one. Because it deserves its own video. Because in my opinion, it's the greatest slasher movie that was ever made. So, it's getting its own video. So then after that, after Freddy vs. Jason, wasn't another Jason movie made for another 7 years, and then they pretty much put an end to the original series, and that's when the remake was released here in 2010, Friday the 13th. This is the Killer Cut edition. I like this remake, you know. It's more of a reimagining of the series, and you know, they did a decent job on it. You know, it stayed true to the original elements of the original series. I do like that. You know, and in all sense, this is essentially parts 1, 2, and 3 in a nutshell, basically, in one movie. And they did a pretty decent job on it, I think, you know, because they stayed true to the series, and they didn't change the storyline up a bit. They didn't change the storyline at all, honestly. They kept him who he was, and that's what I really like about this one. You know, out of the horror movie remakes, I do give this one 4 stars, because, you know, like I said, stayed true, and it was a good reimagining. You know, I wouldn't mind to see a sequel to this. I think, you know, they could keep this going maybe for 1 or 2 movies, this new reimagining. Because, you know, Jason's been kind of dormant, you know, for a while, and I think he needs to be brought back again. So, that is my Friday the 13th DVD collection. Get them all straightened back up here. Again, Friday the 13th, great collection. You know, if you're a horror fan, you've got to love Jason, because he's a beast. No one can kill like Jason. And that'll do it for this video. Keep watching. I'll have a lot more DVD, VHS reviews coming up soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.